This document forensic lab is one significant milestone that the agency has achieved. And I must say, even before going any further, I have to give a tremendous thank you to the British government and in particular the Immigration Enforcement International team who assisted us in making this forensic lab a reality. Some would say a forensic lab, a document forensic lab. Why is it important? Well, PICA, who is responsible for the processing of passport applications, passengers entering the country, and citizenship, persons applying for citizenship and other immigration benefits, have to use documents and provide us with documents to support their applications. And many times, on many occasions, they use fraudulent or forged documents in order to achieve these benefits. To achieve the forgeries and the fraudulent documents over the years have certainly risen in quality. And the criminals who supply them are highly trained, highly skilled, and I dare say the technology that is available to support these criminal activities has made the detection of these documents very difficult. And as such, in order for us to be able to identify these documents and to ensure that criminals are not successful, we need this document forensic lab, which can look at documents in a forensic way to identify how they lift the documents, how they make the changes to the documents. And these changes are not visible to the naked eye. But by doing the forensic analysis of the document, the ink, the paper, how the kind of paper, we will be able to detect these things. So I'm excited in commemorating this milestone with the representatives of the British High Commission, who have been such a great support to PICA over the years, and this new lab will greatly help to assist in the fight against criminal activity. Globally, there is the growing incidence of identity theft. And the COVID-19 pandemic has not stopped them in any way, shape, and form. In fact, in some instances, they are using the opportunity to expand their trade. Because like the rest of us, the criminals are also staying home. And they are locked down, so they have even more time to perfect their craft. So we have to make use of our time as well. In fact, there has been a marked increase in their attempts. So we, the agency, have had to step up our detection capabilities to improve our processes as a result. The agency has the responsibility for protecting the identities of Jamaicans at home and abroad. And we have to make sure that we do all we can to secure our borders. From the undesirables, and with the help of our bilateral partners and the entities such as the British High Commission, we have increased our capabilities significantly with this lab. Over the last 5 years, we have uncovered approximately 700 cases of persons using fraud and fraudulent or forged documents to obtain benefits. And when we consider that we are processing over 200,000 applications for passports, 4,000 persons for citizenship, and approximately 4 million visitors passing through our borders every year, we have to ensure that our systems are robust. And certainly, many persons may have slipped through because we did not have that forensic capability to identify. Some years ago, we put in our facial recognition system. And the facial recognition system uncovered significant amounts of persons using more than one identity. In fact, we have one celebrated case where one person had 5 different passports. And that shows that as we improve now with the forensic lab, the facial recognition system, we will detect even more persons. The document forensic lab will improve PICA's decision-making process and the agency's overall efficiency and our intelligence gathering capabilities. It will help us to determine the eligibility of passengers entering and will allow for information sharing and the emerging trends from fraudulent travel documents and other breeder documents which will be used to try to obtain citizenship or immigration benefits from the agency. This centralized hub at our West Kings House Road location will provide needed guidance and support to satellite locations which will be located at the Norman Manley International Airport and the Donald Sansa International Airport, respectively. Those establishment of the Central Document Lab and the mini laboratories in the two main ports of entry as satellite stations will assist PICA to greatly improve its efficiency and its ability to detect. PICA will improve its efficiency using reliable, competent, assured specific methods of identity to analyze, train, and provide evidence about suspicious or questionable documents presented to all our frontline employees, be it at the borders or in our offices. Through the rigorous training of our offices, and in addition to providing the lab, I also have to comment on the training that has been provided, where approximately 30 employees of the agency have been trained to use and made familiar with the equipment. So we are not just looking at the technical side, we have also increased our human side. And in all the operation units, customer service, passport, citizenship, investigation and surveillance, and customer service, persons have been trained in the document forensic and also how to identify fraudulent documents so that we are better able to respond to these issues. You know, I just like to share with you the kind of genesis. Minister, if you'll indulge me an additional minute. Right? You know, this was a dream we had. And I remember when Richard Crony and Jerry came to me one day and we're having a meeting discussing how we could work together. And, you know, while in the discussion, I said, you know, one of the things that PICA really needs is a document forensic lab to really assist us in working. And, you know, it is really good to see out of that simple discussion on that day, right? We spoke about it in general terms. And when Richard and Jerry came back to me and said, Mr. Winter, I think we have an idea. Well, my team knows me. From the door just open a crack, I'm gone through it. And we went through, and today, out of that simple discussion, we are now seeing all the things that have come together to make this possible. I would like to use the opportunity to thank also all the persons who were involved. Richard, Jerry, the new person Leslie from the British side, Marcus Manning, but from the PICA side, Miss Amy Johnson Lynch, Miss Latoya Morris Dale, the other members of the Project and Enterprise Risk Management Unit, Miss Molly Plummer, Mr. Chris Miller, Mr. Gowe, Keith Montague, and all the directors who were involved in sending their staff, Mr. Ezra Whittock, Deli Vassell, Carol Hammond, and all those persons who, through their support of this process, ensured that we will get the full success of it. Because it was a coming together as a team that we benefited and we're seeing the results today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of us today for being here, and as we enjoy this facility and look at how this capability will assist the agency in being successful in its fight against organized crime and international criminal activity, to continue to enjoy the success and to continue to build out the partnership between the agency, the Ministry of National Security, and the British High Commission as we go forward to continue to be the success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Winter. I believe we can give him another round of applause. When great ideas meet great partnership and you include people and technology, this is what happens. You have heard the genesis. I think we are ready for the revelation. And to bring the revelation, I am going to call upon His Excellency, Mr. Asif Ahmad, our British High Commissioner not only to bring remarks, but he has something to show. Bring the show, sir. Please make him welcome.
Well, Master Ceremonies, I'm not sure that my title as High Commissioner is high enough to meet your expectations, but we'll try. Can I greet our Minister and friend, Matthew Samuda, and of course you, Andrew Winters, the CEO of PICA, officials of PICA, friends of this agency, and my own colleagues from the British High Commission, from the Home Office team. A warm good morning to each and every one of you. I arrived here 4 years ago, and from day one, the hallmark of our relationship has been one of partnerships. We wanted to work with the grain of the Jamaican government, with your priorities, and where these priorities overlap with our interests, that is where our success is the greatest. And this is a great example of that meeting of minds, our priorities blending with yours, and it is indeed a great day to celebrate. And the passion with which you spoke really speaks volumes about the importance of this project and the impact that we hope that this project will actually have. Now, this, as you said, Andrew, began with a conversation in 2020 about in what way can we help. And before we sat down, you were saying that you've been watching over the years all the goodies going to other parts of government, sometimes large amounts of money and equipment, and you wondered when would it be PICA's time. Well, your time has definitely come. But it is actually important for me to say that in every aspect, whenever we come here, whether it's £50 million for agriculture, whether it's a relatively small project or even just training, it is a discussion that begins with representatives of the Jamaican government to say, where can we make the best impact? And this is why we operate in this way. So I'm glad in a way that of the many things on your wish list, this one has finally come true. So the launch today of the Forensic Forgery Lab is really quite momentous. And you've also described, which is why so many people are streaming and watching, and the media will cover this too, is that it is really broader than what you're just doing here in PICA. You're using it in your airports, which is of course a natural place. And this is about equipment, which we will see later on. But what is also good that there's no time lag between the equipment coming here and the training that follows it. So the training is already started. And I think so that this project does not die the death of some that we've seen over the years, where fancy equipment comes and then after many years people forget what it was for, forget to maintain it and the expertise behind it. This I know from the commitment that you've made will not be the future of this project, that this will be sustained because it is absolutely vital. Now, what is the UK's government's interest in all of this? Well, it is primarily a shared one. You talk about your motto being about your sovereignty and your own security. It is about our sovereignty and our security, because organized criminal gangs are behind the creation of forged documents. They are behind the trafficking of people and illicit use of forged identities across a number of platforms, from financial fraud to a whole number of things. So this is a Thank you. I switch it on. Right, we're good. I promise not to use up all the battery for the remainder of this short speech. But as I was saying, that if you leave any doors open to your borders, one way or another, that is what the organized criminals will actually use. But I think it is much bigger than that, because you've already recognized how big this contribution actually is. Because we start with the integrity of documents. So much trust is placed on a passport, on a birth certificate, on many of the things that represent who a person is, that if that is corrupted, then your entire integrity as a nation is corrupted. And if anybody has any doubt about how important this is, just imagine somebody using forged documents to qualify or pretend to qualify as a doctor. And in this pandemic, would you really want to be in the hands of somebody who has forged his identification? And let me say something even more dramatic. In this country, you have rules about who can be in government, who can lead this country, and they can only be Jamaican or, in some instances, a Commonwealth citizen. But just imagine if somebody finds their way into becoming a fake Jamaican citizen and finds his way to the top, the very top, to run this country. That is what is at stake, ladies and gentlemen, the very integrity of your nation. And our borders start here in Jamaica and in any other gateway into the UK. Our borders are very close also with our overseas territories where there are so many illicit movements of people. And pressures that we see in Afghanistan, in Haiti, and other places will drive people into desperate hands, and it is criminals who then capture them and do what they need to do. So this is a shared agenda. It is one of partnership. And the video that we'll now play will focus on some of the other points that we should bring to your attention. I thank you very much for this opportunity.
We have a long history of working with the Government of Jamaica and its agencies to help make improvements as they develop and expand their facilities. And on the immigration side, we have a long-standing connection with the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency. And today we are embarking on a brand new project that is to complete the new forensic laboratory facility that PICA will have.
So the VSC-80 is a state-of-the-art document forgery detection equipment, and it's used by law enforcement agencies in the UK, the USA, Canada, Australia, and now Jamaica. So documents that can be checked are secured documents such as passports, identity cards, banknotes, and any other government-issued secured document. Checks can be made such as coaxial light, infrared light, ultraviolet light, transposition, and magnification. The forensic expert can use the equipment to produce high-quality reports, including photographs, which can then be used as evidence in criminal proceedings. So by obtaining this forgery detection suite, this will help PICA secure the border for Jamaica and enhance Jamaica's national security.
Now, why is this important? It is because identity theft is something that harms everybody, and if someone steals your name, they can pretend to be you. You want desirable people to be in Jamaica, and conversely, we in the UK want people who are verified and bona fide travellers to the UK. So what this will enable immigration officers to do with the requisite training is to identify where documents are fraudulent. Criminals use these networks to do their work internationally, so this is a fight against international crime too.
Disorganized law enforcement cannot fight organized crime. This Document Forensic Lab is the first of its kind in Jamaica, and I dare say in the English-speaking Caribbean. These are the kind of steps that we need to take as we strengthen our remit across borders to enforce immigration laws, and we look forward to the continued hard work and development and the deepening of the relationship as we build out to strengthen our cooperation together.
20 million Jamaican dollars is being spent on this project as a whole, and I'm pretty sure that as a result of this, we'll see better collaboration between Jamaica and the UK and safer travel and identity protection for every Jamaican.
So, I don't know how many of you saw that nice shirt that His Excellency was wearing with the Jamaican flag here and the British number one. I want a shirt like that. Don't you? But give another round of applause. I told you this was an exciting program. But the main event is just here. Because we now have Senator, the Honorable Matthew Samuda, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, representing our Minister, Dr. the Honorable Horace Chang. Please make him welcome.
One worries with a welcome like that, how much you've been set up to disappoint. But Mr. Master of Ceremonies, thank you for your kind welcome. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of a friend and a friend of Jamaica, His Excellency Asif Ahmad. I noticed the flurry of activity. I hope it's not in expectation of your leaving us, because with investments such as this, we may be able to keep you here a little longer. The documents may need a little more review, Mr. Winter. Mr. Winter, senior team from PICA, senior team from the British Embassy, Ministry of National Security senior team, members of the media, friends all. The investment we are seeing here today is a particularly important one. We sometimes don't understand the role of PICA as an agency in the national security apparatus. It's something that we don't always speak about. But the importance that this government has put on the security of our borders can be seen in many of our investments. Some large, some a little smaller. The importance and the focus that has been put on the security of our borders can be seen with our bilateral conversations and our bilateral relationships. We've put a lot of energy into significantly improving the security of our borders. Now, we've often spoken, and because of the sheer magnitude of those investments, we've often spoken of some of our larger investments. When you buy a plane or you buy a ship, or you equip the police force with patrol boats, and you put in sort of the hard infrastructure that starts to plug the gap of some of the porous areas of your border, those tend to get a lot of attention. It is unfortunately when something goes wrong that we tend to look at the softer side, the software, the science, the intelligence side, that sometimes is not really heavily spoken of and not widely understood within society. But it is just as important, and the truth is you hear about it less because we've been investing in it over the years, so you have less problems in this space. The integrity of the PICA system is of paramount importance. An investment like this from our friends within the British High Commission and the British government speaks to the importance of that system and the importance that they, as our friends, have put on the integrity of the system, and the importance that we, as the Jamaican government, have put and will continue to put in this system. This sort of investment moves us into the 21st century. It moves us into being able to say to our partners, to businesses locally who have to use passports to verify identity, that they can trust the systems that we have in place. Now, that trust is particularly important as we seek to become a digitized society, as we seek to grow our country in the 21st century, and as we seek to be able to say to our international partners, yes, you can say to your business community, come to Jamaica, because there's integrity in the systems. So this morning, I think Mr. Winter's introduction of the program was pretty extensive. I too just wish to extend the hand of thanks and appreciation to the British government for the investment. We look forward to the benefits that we know will accrue from this investment. And I thank you all for gathering this morning.
I think you can do much better than that. Minister, you certainly contextualize it for us, because as you emphasize, sir, the importance of integrity, I could hear that word being echoed in all the presentations, and it came to life when His Excellency said, imagine if someone were to acquire citizenship and rise to the highest level in the country. And when you, sir, from a policy perspective, emphasize the importance of investment in the integrity of our system, I know you were going to put the icing on the cake. Give him another round of applause. I believe at this time, Mr. Winter is going to do a little show and tell. We have on our agenda the tour of the lab. But just before Mr. Winter leads that tour, I believe Mr. Winter has something to present, and I believe the presentation is going to be to Your Excellency. So, Mr. Winter, may I invite you, sir, and Your Excellency to do so.
Your Excellency, Mr. Asif Ahmad, we hear that you are departing, and you've been here for only 4 years, but you've become so involved in our country and our society that sometimes we think you've been here since 1962. Right? So, sir, as a token of our appreciation, we are going to give you this gift so that you can remember PICA when you return home or to wherever you go. So wherever your journey takes you, you'll always remember this little piece of PICA that you will take with us. It's my pleasure today on behalf of the Minister, Senator Samuda, and the other members of the PICA family to provide you with this gift as our appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a rather large box for a Jamaican passport, though.
Oh, yes, you know. So may you have fair winds and following seas as you sail on to your new destination.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we now move from this section. We're now going to the formal ribbon cutting of the opening, and I invite Minister Matthew Samuda, His Excellency, to join us now inside. So we open the formal opening of our Document Forensic Lab. Thank you.